In this week's episode of What the World Blew Up, we will be seeing episode 22 of What the World Blew Up. I'm trying a new intro. I don't know if I'm going to keep it, but we're going to go with it. I've not been able to record one for a while. This is the 18th. The last one I recorded was a week ago. 18th of April, if anyone was wondering, and this is going to come out. Is it the 11th of July? Is that when this is coming out? What? Oh, that's like 3 months away. My god. My fucking god. Okay, let's get into the episode. Yes. The Russians and the, Chinese, that's what they were. Yeah, I've forgotten how to do I forgot how to do this because, like, it's been like a week since I've recorded one of these. So they will expand this territory with Russian Brazil, which is the last sentence I ever expected to say, expanding into this territory, and Chinese Chile, another sentence I never expected myself to say, will expand a bit more into Argentina and Chile. Okay, South America is becoming more full, I guess is what you could say. With the South Americans gonna be like. Also, I want to mention something here. I'm going to do something. I'm going to change the colour of Catalonia to a little bit darker. Some of you might have noticed I did this with different countries and just didn't say anything about it. Like, I did it with the Dutch, I did it with the French. Like, you probably couldn't tell because France used to be this colour I'm drawing now, but I made it darker because of the Bangladesh over here. I made it darker. And as you can see, when I put stuff down, this is the same colour, so you can't see any difference. So I'm just going to mention that before you guys comment about it at some point. Like, I don't actually know if that's happened yet, because I'm recording this the same day that episode 9 came out, and this is 22, and I don't think I'd done any by then, because I didn't have to, but I just wanted to mention it before you scream at me. I had somebody in the comments of episode 8 ask me what the website was, and I found it, at the time I found it funny because I thought I'd said it in the video, when I realised I hadn't, because I realised that I said that in like episode 14 or something like that, and I was like, oh, so then I just replied, MS Paint, it kind of should be obvious, but I'm not going to judge. So, the Pentagons are going to, do stuff. The Pentagons, Egypt is going to stage a attack on themselves, which is meant to be from the West Algerian thing, and they staged it to make it look like they attacked them by having a ship kind of blow up. So yeah, African Cold War is actually an African war now. And the Pentagons aren't going to join because Egypt had enough honour to say, no, let me do this myself. And let me do it on my puppet state. Yes, I'm going to join now. I am your puppet state. It's basically their puppet state, let's be honest. So, the war has begun. Algeria is going to look for an ally, or foe. Who would be the most powerful to be Egypt? Oh, that's right, a colonial power. Which colonial power to be exact? France! France will start helping Algeria. Why does that sound familiar? As about that, they will help them, and they will kind of just like be like, okay, as they proceed to go and help them. as they will proceed to help them. So the attacks will kind of not get anywhere because the combined power of them and France is about equal to them. So the front will kind of stalemate in this nation. So this nation's just experiencing way more fighting now. But this will be important in the future. In in Italy, you know how these guys kind of conquered the entire thing last time? Yeah, because these guys, or at least southern, like this, I guess, they were a different nation that just got conquered. Remember? The one that causes the first European Great War or something in episode 8 that came out at the time. At the time of this coming out happened like 3 months ago, but at the time of me recording this, it was like 2 weeks ago. And this country has a completely different culture and even language at this point, because they've been divided for so long. So, you can tell what happens when people don't want to be a part of your country. They will break away. As a few parts of the nation will break apart and declare themselves the Republic of South Italy. Yes, we are getting a new republic, or at least if it concedes. And they will take these 2 islands, I know. It's very, very good for them. As the monarchy is kind of like scrambling, because they don't want this republic to succeed, they don't really care about the land. Well, they kind of do, but they don't really care about it as much as the principle. Because the principle is that if they let this go, then the republic, like, idea and everything will go into their nation next. So then the government, like the monarchy, will be like overthrown, and they don't want that. So they want to suppress this so it doesn't make it out of like the town, I guess. Catalonia is going to get behind these guys, as you can probably remember. They don't like a big Italy. Bad things tend to happen. Invasion happen. Italy is unified, so they want Italy to stay de-unified. So does Poland. So Poland and Catalonia will start applying this thing, not knowing that this could probably affect their power if it gets to that. But this rebellion will slowly make ground and will connect up its 2 southern areas, I guess. And it will link up another area while making an encirclement. The fronts will stalemate in the south, and the fronts haven't made any. The fronts will stabilize and stalemate for a few months, and now the rebellions are going to do something very, very surprising. They're going to ask Greece, the former Star Squad member, to use their navy, because the blue team doesn't like the triple stars. They don't like them, because you know why? Because they just lost their alliance. Yes, and now they will gain access to use their navy, but on one condition: these guys don't find out, which they will agree to. And they will use this navy to make a landing in the north. Well, not the north, but like the north of them for them. And this will allow them to make an encirclement on the coast. And 50,000 troops are encircled. As 50,000 troops have been encircled, like foggier, I guess. So they will make an encirclement, and they will capture 50,000 troops that are now held hostage. That's not good, like at all. And now they will make a big strike using the navy. They will move the navy this way, and they will now use it. Oops, what the hell did I just do? They will use it to attack Rome, as they will make a surprise attack in Rome, and they will manage to make a foothold in the city, and they did not expect this attack. The city has fallen, and now this country will be forced to move its capital back to this place where it was originally, and now the rebellion will link up and make another encirclement. As they will now ask for independence, and they will say no, so they will continue fighting. And there is a few nations, green team, that are looking to get involved to retake some of their land, their coastline. But they can't do anything yet because they're too weak and it still gets steamrolled. So back in this neutral country, supplies from this country have been almost completely cut off because they need to worry about this. But the other triple stars will manage to help. It won't be as much help, but it's not quite enough to hold off their advance. So this is kind of bad for them. They're like, screw South Italy, because they're like this is like really the first really stance they've taken on a world issue. Well, not a world issue, just a world thing. Is just saying screw the rebellion. That's really the first thing they've done. But this will allow these guys to make an encirclement in this area, which is not good. Having 30,000 troops encircled, that's just not good. And yeah, and it's not like anybody could actively join this war. Well, I think they kind of could. It just depends if the Pentagons would help an offensive war against this country. Like, if the Pentagon saw that, like, say, Russia joined, and I don't know if that would be counted as Russia attacking them or them helping this country. I don't really know what they'd do. So, and the Russians know that this would cause their entire alliance to go into disarray, so that's why they're going to do it. Russia will attack, well, I guess defend the small country by attacking the Ukraine. This is way more help than the triple stars ever gave. I'm not saying anything. So they will proceed to they just kind of are like, oh, we are fucked. As the encirclement will be cut from this country. The encirclement will be cut and their offensive will be halted at around this line. It's like this. Yeah, that. And Ukraine is like, well, shit. Ukraine's like, well, shit. And Ukraine will now just cry about it, I guess. As Russia will launch attacks into this weird area, as they will they expand their territories into this land, and they will launch more attacks saying, leave the neutral alone, or we'll keep attacking. And Ukraine does not want to leave neutral alone. They will refuse, and they will continue attacking neutral, which is this country's name apparently. And now they will be invaded, and the Pentagons are going to do nothing about it because they don't know what to do. Because half of the members see this as a defensive war against Russian aggression, when the other half sees this as just Russia helping neutral. And the alliance can't agree on what to do, so what they'll do is do nothing. Because they couldn't decide what to do for the entire duration of the war. They could not decide what to do for the rest of the war. And then Ukraine's going to be like, great help, guys, great help. And they're going to be like, really? Is this really all you can do is just do nothing? They are mad at their allies, so even if they did survive this war, or even if they do survive this, there was a pretty good chance they'd leave the Pentagons and maybe join somebody else. So they will, and the Russians will now launch a attack into their eastern areas, taking this area. Well, no. And Ukraine is kind of like, oh shit. and then Ukraine will continue to lose ground. In a neutral country, they will continue to lose ground, being pushed back to like original bulge at the beginning of this episode. Their goal is just to push them like out of their territory. The neutral country's goal is to just get their territory back. So they don't really want to attack into their territory. They don't want to do that. That's against their policy of armed neutrality. And as this war happens, the leader or I guess the king, will implement a new policy, and it is going to be a game changer. You know how the US and maybe some other countries have it so that they're the civilians can have guns. Yeah, that's what this country's doing. The king is stating that it is just in case any future attacks like this happens, and this will completely help the resistance and will push them back even further with this new policy, with civilians just kind of on the border, I guess, fighting back. So, because they will be completely pushed out of their territory, other than this weird 1 pixel here. Never mind, it's gone now. And now they will leave neutral, and well, they're still fighting, but they don't have any ground, because if neutral really wanted to, they could probably easily push towards the capital here. They could probably do that, but they won't, because they're neutral. And as the Russians will continue to advance in, and they will take there's a major city about here, and the Russians will take that major city. After this major city falls, the Ukrainian country surrenders to neutral and Russia. Okay, let's look at the peace treaty. Okay, so that's the peace treaty. The neutral country didn't get anything out of this because they're neutral. The only thing they got was war reparations, which is becoming a more popular thing. But if we look to the Russian side of things, they took a lot of land from Ukraine. Now they're kind of back where they were at the first Great War. Remember what they were like? They're kind of similar to that now. And this will bring back lots of bad memories, because that's when they were at their smallest. But I think they're bigger than that still, because they had Romania. Because they have Romania, so I think they still have more, because they just had this then. It was kind of yeah. So they have Romania now, so I think they're still bigger, but it's still bad memories. And as Poland will do something important, Poland will begin preparing for something. Nobody knows what it is, but it seems to be a big military build-up. It's a big naval build-up. Nobody knows what this could be for. It's something to do with the Navy. I don't know. But they're also building up the land forces. Not as big, but big nonetheless. As the rebellions in the south of Italy will continue to gain ground until they are kind of forced to agree to a peace terms. So let's look at what that is. So, and now they are worried as fuck,